All right, and we are live. Hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again, it is time for a Natty or Not. Today, we're going to cover basement bodybuilding. Make sure I set this to public. I have a bad habit of not doing that correctly. Did we do it? Yes, we are on public. Let's check the sound. Make sure the sound is good. All right, we got the volume up. Let's get into this. So this is one that's been requested a lot. I know he's got a smaller channel. I've had a little bit of engagement with him. So let's discuss him in detail. And I want to make a few points clear when I discuss this. Number one, we're not talking about any of his Photoshop edited thumbnails. Okay. Something that we need to address, and I'm going to start calling you guys out on this. Don't claim Natty and then make thumbnails that look like your own trend. Because then I could say you're on trend because you want to look like your own trend. You're making thumbnails that look like your own trend. Stop doing it. Put up how you look shirtless, like I do, guys. Every day I train shirtless on camera. That's how I look. That's my garage lighting. Sometimes it's the normal sun lighting coming through. Put up how you look, guys. Quit faking like you look like your own trend. That would be my point to him. I'm willing to set that photoshopping and filters aside and address what he really looks like. Okay, so with this guy, normally I would look at the noble natties and go, their whole attitude is an enormous red flag, meaning we're better than everyone else because we're better. All right, we all see noble natties, we are superior people. You know, this nonsense is a dead giveaway. That is a massive red flag for a fake natty. We've known this for decades. So I want to make that clear. That is one reason, like we know for an absolute fact that Frenchie, Strap on, all these guys are on gear because of their attitude. It is an enormous red flag. It doesn't even matter if they gained muscle. It doesn't matter if they lift weights. That attitude alone tells us everything we need to know. Everyone who's been in the lifting game knows this. However, I will make the note, I haven't seen the exact same attitude from the basement bodybuilding guy. Okay, so I do want to, I'm going to be fair here. I haven't seen that same arrogant, haughty, nonsense attitude that you see from these other guys. He doesn't throw it out there the same way, oh, I'm better. And if you're not pure, whatever Aryan blood or whatever nonsense they're throwing out there, unless you're natty, right? This weird thing they have. He's not doing that. He's not doing that. So I won't push that card on him. Otherwise, I would almost be like, that's a fail by default. He's not doing it to the same degree. So let's look at how he looks, look at his training. All right, you have a guy who did have a powerlifting background. He did lift pretty heavy. What is it that I tell you guys over and over and over? The best natural bodybuilders generally started with powerlifting. Almost every time they built a big strength base, they have a high neural drive. You guys have seen Christian Thibodeau, my friend Christian Thibodeau, the coach, has written about these. Like, look, long-term muscle gains, getting your neural drive high on the big movements will pay off down the road. I've seen him say that. And again, he's done plenty of research. Okay. The guy started with a strength base. He was smaller. He's like, but I wasn't big as a powerlifter. I'm way bigger now. But he doesn't want to acknowledge that it did help. It helps a lot. Guy got to, like a 315 bench. I saw the bench and it wouldn't count as a 315 bench, but he at least had weight on the bar, built a strength base, did like a 500 plus sumo. So he had some neural drive. I've looked at his training. I went to actually check it out. I'm like, the guy's training is actually pretty good. He looks consistent. He's been doing it for years and years and years and years. He focuses on progressive overload. He moves big weights. He does a lot of real long range of motion movements. Okay. The guy does Romanian deadlifts with very respectable weights, deep stretch preacher curls, respectable weight. He does a lot of range of motion with pretty big weights. All right. Does a lot of range of motion with pretty big weights. His training is good. He has been accumulating small amounts of muscle for years and years and years. It's not like we've seen big gains like GVS, who gained a whole bunch of muscle after a decade. All of a sudden, no, we didn't see that. That was, again, a big red flag, and while still being weak. Right? So when I'm looking at basement bodybuilding, and I'm also going, he's also not that lean. Like guys are like, well, he looks fairly big, but he's in a slightly higher body weight. He's not as lean as some of the other guys. And I think you guys would be shocked how much difference that makes. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm not going to do this very often, and say, based on what I see with his training, his growth history over time, the base he started with on the strength base, and just the overall assessment, I'm going to say he might actually be natural. Okay? He might actually be natural. Like I'm actually willing to give the guy the benefit of the doubt. Again, based on his total training history, how he's accumulated size over time, the way that he's done it, the strength base, the way he trains, the rate of growth. He is on the big end for a natural. I think he's near the end of the scale. Right? Sam, I'm not addressing that. The guy's name alone is enough. That's it. So, certain things I'm going to put up with and not. I'm going to ignore you trolls outside of that. That's the only answer you're getting. Going to ignore you guys. You're not getting responses. I'm going to let you post. You're not getting responses. So, and some of those hater questions and comments, I'm going to eventually make some videos addressing. All right. So, basement bodybuilding, I'm actually going to give him the pass and say, you know what? He might actually be natural. So let's get into some of these questions down here, guys. Now that we got that out of the way, and I'm sure we'll get some lively comments about some of the noble natties, and I'll jump in and discuss it, right? So, Jason, should I do flat bench if I'm prone to gyno only? What does that have to do with it? Prone to gyno. 25% of American males have gyno. So what are you, 25% of the population? No, man, do flat bench, do incline, do both. Why wouldn't you do both? Right? Let's get over to talking about some training, Coach Herbert. Let's get in and talk about some training. Alex says, when you reverse grip bench press, is your finger on the ring? I grip it real wide, like I'm way out. Usually, I'm past the rings with some of my fingers when I reverse grip. FS says, I don't know shite about steroids, but you can see the unnatural difference in Alpha Destiny now from a couple years ago. His strength makes no sense. Yeah, I mean, again, he's sub 300 bencher for a long time, and then his bench blew up. That doesn't happen in just a couple of years of natural training, unless you're a genetic freak. All right. Plus, again, the overall look. Has the snow melted in Houston? Yes. Do you still like weighted dips? No. I think weighted dips can be a good exercise. I think the risk to reward is a concern. Herbert says, I store fat in my chest and need to balance it out. Why don't you just lose some fat then? Alex Leonidas has not benched 405 in comp to my knowledge. I don't think he can do it without elbow sleeves. All right. Herbert, that is not gyno. Gyno is not fat. Gyno is glandular tissue. Are you confusing two different things? Can we get an NH outrageous French accent? Non-negotiable. I will give you a non-negotiable, right? Non-negotiable, guys. Hey, everybody, this is Natural Hypertrophy with my outrageous French accent. Today, we are going to talk about Jason Blah Blah. Right? That guy. Can I do exclusively band press downs if any type of extensions hurt my elbows and shoulders? Yeah, you can do that. And it's not a bad route to go if you're having that much elbow pain, but you don't need to do them long term. You may be able to do it for a few months, build those tendons up, right? Those tendons around the elbow, build those up, rehab the area, you may be able to go back over to doing extensions. Pepper, I'll say, thoughts on chopped chin, watts. I don't know what that means. Pepper, Jason, is there any difference in muscles being worked if you squat toes straight forward versus turned out? Yes, there's a difference. Not everyone can reach depth with toes straight forward, though. There's part of your problem. It has to do with hip structure. A lot going on there. What programs do you recommend after ICFs? It's going to depend on what you're doing. I don't know that we need to be doing cookie cutter programs after that. Has Alan Thrall ever apologized? You know he is not. Christ says, so far your opinion, NH not Natty, strap on Destiny not Natty, GVS not Natty, Ball Omni Man, no, Ball Omni Man, I'm going to go with not Natty. Basement bodybuilding, I'll give him the pass on Natty. Now, for a Natty, he's done phenomenally well. I will give credit for that. That is not normal average results. But again, I gave my reasons early in as to why I'm willing to give him the pass. JT, what's up, dude? How you doing, bro? Jason, what happened to your bullet crafting apparatus? You mean my reloading press? None of your business. All right. Sure you did, Sam. That's why none of my therapists ever diagnosed that, who actually met me. So, Legend says, good evening, Jason. I don't care much for Alan Thrall personally. Yeah, it is what it is. Atomic says +5 hat of not Natty. I've gone full Natty now, guys. I decided to join the Natty Brigade. I'm going to be Natty henceforth. Natural lifters lifting natural weights naturally. I have been over 300 pounds before, Tim, when younger. That's why I got the loose skin. Coach is the most noble. No, I'm not noble. I am a peasant. I remember I remember Thrall squatting 500 for reps, not Natty territory. Let's see. Travis, I've deadlifted 635 on camera with calibrated plates. I'm only going to discuss what I've done on camera. I'm going to just disregard anything I may have done in the pre-smartphone era. So I'm going to only stick with what you've seen on the channel. And I think that's fair. I've done 635 with calibrated plates and a Texas power bar on camera. Do you count band curls towards your bicep volume? I do if they're to failure. Is that winter storm hitting Texas? It hit already this last week. You should form a squad called the Ignoble Natties. All right. Is the heritability of obesity mostly due to differences in appetite? Yes, it is largely due to leptin and ghrelin, differences in appetite, and of course, eating habits that are in your family. All right. Only an ass clown thinks I use fake plates. No reasonable lifter thinks that. Done. Next. FS, I don't know anything about those skeletons in his closet. I'm not going to speculate on that because I just don't know. Jason, ever going back to hook grip or deadlift bar because of too much damage? Now, the hook grip, one, it was never that great for me. Two, I play guitar. The guitar playing is something I want to keep doing the rest of my life. I don't want to deaden the nerves in my thumbs. It's not worth it. Is there anything dietary you do to coach? Just get your arms lean. Get your arms lean. Do cardio. Eat a lot of potassium. Jason, do you judge bodybuilding shows? No. Only because I can estimate. I mean, I know what I looked like in the mirror, and I was embarrassed to weigh myself, but I know I was over 300 because I lost weight. And the first time I weighed myself, I was something like 280, and I had lost a lot of weight already. The first time I was not embarrassed to get on a scale, I was so embarrassed to do it. And I'd already lost quite a bit of weight. So I know I was over 300, and I eventually got to 170. So if I assume I was probably about 320, I'm going to call it 150. And I think that's a reasonable estimate. I barely am familiar with Jeremy Branham. I've not followed any of his stuff long enough to know what he's doing. Jason, if a trainee can perform the behind the neck press safely without pain or discomfort, would it be okay to perform a few light back off sets after heavy front press for high reps and shoulder mobility? If you can do it pain-free, I don't think even going heavy is really a problem. Jason, can you make a Sam Salute video? What are you wanting me to cover about Sam Salute? Thoughts on Dr. Manlet Israel completely spitting on hammer curls in his bogus explanation? I think hammer curls are great. I think they're a perfectly valid exercise. In fact, Jay Cutler even loved them, right? Jay Cutler used to swear by hammer curls for getting wider biceps. I know I could just Google what's the difference between the Texas Power Bar and the Ohio Power Bar. I don't know on the Ohio Power Bar. I'm going to assume just the company difference, Rogue versus Texas Power Bar. Spec-wise, I don't actually know. Jason, do you cuss out your clients? Only if they need it. Very rarely. Let's skip that. Okay, hey coach, saw your video where you said benching 3 times a week can get you injured. When you say this, you're talking about all forms of barbell pressing, all forms of bench pressing, big heavy benching. Yeah, I mean, maybe not dumbbells, maybe not higher rep dumbbell work. But yeah, any of your barbell stuff, you start doing it 3 times a week, you are eventually going to break. Right? So I'm going to say that if you're going to bench, do it once a week. And if you really need extra chest work, I would lean in the direction of high rep dumbbells. If you feel that you need the higher frequency, I lean in the direction of lower frequency these days. But if you have to do it, 10 plus rep dumbbells, cables, things like that. Thoughts on the beef between Greg Doucette and Mike Israel? I'm going to have to kind of side with Greg on some of that. Should you do hammer curls if you're already doing preacher curls? I don't know. It depends on your goals and what you need. Some people might benefit from both. Okay, question, Jason, is being over 200 pounds at 5'4" healthy? Probably not. Hi, coach, your veins are popping today. Thank you. They're definitely out there. What we got going on there? No, they're not really popping today. They were this morning more. Okay. Books for programming. I would definitely go with all the conjugate stuff. Read all the West Side books. There's a good starting point. Will Sam Salute make it to 40? Probably not. Hey, Travis, you just made that up. What? You clearly didn't listen to what I said in the video. Why would you assume he doesn't make that type of money? What does it have to do with me receiving? It's not me. Are you an ass? Clearly you're an ass. How do I get veins like those? Is that just to train forearms? That would help. And get lean. Sam Salute was a fan of Big Lenny, so he's probably aware of the meme fitness scene. Okay. JT says, will Sam Salute make it to 40? Probably not. The guy's on a lot of gear at a young age. Hey, Travis, you clearly didn't listen to what I said. Go back and listen again. I am obviously not talking about myself, you silly ass. Quit being a clown. All right. Like, why would you assume my cousin doesn't make that type of money coaching a Super Bowl win? Now, let's get over to, no, we're not being boring again. We're covering the topics. Sam Salute might be on an alt in this chat now. I seriously doubt it. I'm going to ignore the trolls from here on out. They're clearly just idiots. Coach, what do you think your 40-yard dash time would be in your prime? I have no idea. Not a clue. I couldn't even speculate. Some number in seconds. Coach, or Jason, can you do breakfast with Blaha again? No, I have no desire to ever do that again, and it wasn't even a popular segment. People largely disliked it. So, and I didn't enjoy it. So that pretty much sums it up. Right? That sums it up, guys. Do you think Togi will make it to 40? I don't know who Togi is. Did you say 100 pull-ups, chin-ups? How long was the streak? I don't know, like 30 days, 6 weeks, something like that. You'd have to go check the vlogs. I don't remember the exact time, but it was all done and discussed in my vlogs. All right. They're pulling crap out of the air with you guys just like the narrow. Yeah, they're just making stuff up. Why don't you like sports teams? I just don't. Nice backyard, thank you. Thoughts on Obese to Beast? That sounds like a good name. Jason, will David Lake make it to 40? Probably, maybe. All right. Jason, can you make a video addressing John Skywalker having heart failure? I don't know much about it. Will you ever do a training challenge like 315 for 20 on squats or 405 for 20 on deads? Probably not. I've done 3 sets of 20 with 300 on squats on camera before. But it wasn't 315, it was 300 with the cambered bar. When is the Greek yogurt returning? I eat Greek yogurt almost every day. I like doing dead hangs at the end of a training session. Would this harm my progress any? No, probably not. Okay. Why would I be glad that Big Lenny died? That seems like a strange thing to be glad about. I don't know what those lifts are, B. Linus. I've never heard of that. How are Spanish squats different from regular squats? Coach, the haters be hating. Yep. Coach, favorite forearm exercise, training without straps. Legend says, have you seen the Dubai Squat Challenge? The strongest squatters in the world are invited to. It's a squat ladder starting at like 500 with 100 reps in 5 minutes. Yeah, that's crazy. Chris, I don't have an exact number. I don't want to sit around and try to add it up and sit down and break out a calendar and do that. Do you know what your fastest mile time was when you were running? No. Doucette ranked the fitness influencers, and he gave Dr. Mike Nippard Lane S tier. He gave Michael Hearn an F, if I remember. He probably ignored me completely. Travis, a 500 box squat is harder than a 500 back squat. Again, go check West Side stuff. They've talked about it for years. I remember the old videos Josh Tip would do back in the vid days. He would walk around and tell people to look out for a guy with a cowboy hat named Jason Blaha, and he said, just what? Did you really lose 150 pounds? Yes. All my trolls have my address. Jesse James West 99, he's on my list to investigate. B. Linus, why do you have to use the names of all these funny lifts? Do you have a real estate license? No. Jason, is aspartame dangerous? Seems unlikely to be, based upon all the available data. I mean, compared to stuff that we know is dangerous, like table sugar, we're going to go with no. West Side has no value. Oh, dude, West Side produced 100 world record holders. Their training methods have carried over into the NFL, the UFC, Army, Rangers, everything at this point. Yeah, that's a nonsense statement. Do you think you could beat up a UFC caliber? No, I don't think that I would do well against a seriously trained fighter in a ring. I would probably lose. Which more addictive, alcohol, tobacco, cocaine, methamphetamine? I don't know. I don't know which of those is the most addictive. They're all very addictive, though. JT says conjugate is good. Coach, have you ever attempted waiter curls? I don't even know what that is. Is 1 teaspoon of table sugar more dangerous than a teaspoon of aspartame? Objectively, yes. Jason would be a small UFC guy like Mighty Mouse. What? Is that an actual UFC guy? Jason, do you own a boat? No. Tristan says, looking lean, appreciate it, brother. Athlete X, Natty or not, at his age and leanness, no, he's going to be on a minimum of some testosterone. Like it would even make sense for him not to be. Right? His quality of life would be horrific without it, and he has money. He's not going to live in misery. All right. Can you address the alien abductions rumors? What? I don't even know what that is. All right. Yeah, he's like 130 pounds. How do you deal with craving chocolate? I don't actually crave chocolate. I don't have a sweet tooth. I crave savory foods like pizzas and stuff. All right. Udella says, he has said that 200, 300, 400, 500 is a good goal. Yeah, I think that is. Jason is Jeff Side natural. He's an IFBB pro. He's not natural. It's not how it works. Next. Very, very simple, Pepper. Very simple. Feed on protein. Anytime you feel a binge coming on, eat a bunch of protein. Yuba, I gave him the pass, actually, if you watch the first 10 minutes of the video. Would you ever work with Athlete X if invited to a session? Of course. All right. You play guitar? Yes, I play the guitar. I have a Gibson Les Paul and a Fender Strat right there. Jason, will you go to any expos this year? I have no idea. Thunderstruck. You want me to do Thunderstruck? I can't. It's really hard to get that legato picking down. Frank, because they're weirdos, dude. They're weirdos. That's why. They're obsessed with what I may or may not have done. Exactly. They live in the past. All right. Two of my bros have Epiphone Les Pauls, actually. Yeah. They're actually pretty decent. Yeah, I can't play Eruption. What? Real men learn to forgive. Get it from the real. All right. Yeah, I'm just going to ignore their questions. Jason, favorite pencil neck science-based studies geek on YouTube? I don't know. I'm going to go with Nippert out of the science-based ones. I actually find Nippert somewhat likable. Who's more likely natural, Kino Booty or Strap-On? Definitely not Strap-On. Yeah, I don't know why people were talking about a gay alien abduction, like what a random thing, right? Okay. Who's your most impressive natural client? I don't know. Thoughts on Stephanie Buttermore? I did it. All right. Stops. All right. Someone asked for Thunderstruck. I still got on shorts right now, by the way. Let me see if Thunderstruck is really difficult. It is really difficult because of the legato picking. So let me see. All right. So someone asked for Thunderstruck. I'm not going to get it right because it's right. Right. That's pretty much understood. I really need to work on that actually quite a bit. All right. So, do you think NH gets pegged by strap-on to failure? No, I think Cubby is the bottom. So I think natural hypertrophy is the top, and I think strap-on's his power bottom. The question is, does he give him reach around with a strap? Okay. Frank's right. Yeah, you need to watch videos on serial stocking. No, dude, I still got shorts on. I threw this shirt on. Obviously, these are just shorts. It's not a snazzy outfit. What's your opinion on aggressive cuts? I don't think aggressive cuts are a good idea. All right. Doesn't strap-on speak French? They're the perfect. I think their love is beautiful, personally. I think that National Hypertrophy and Alpha Destiny have a beautiful relationship, and we need to respect their relationship. Love is love. Your forearms look better than Frenchie's. Maybe he should stop playing in that rice like he does there. Rice bucket challenge. And then he pulls with straps, and I do all my pulling for the most part raw. And I have these forearms. Maybe he needs to change what he's doing. Who do you dislike more, strap-on or Frenchie? Probably Frenchie. 10-inch forearms. Come on, dude. Will you debate NH? He's not going to debate me in a video call. He is not going to ever want to confront me in any way directly. All right. I've already covered the Chris Jones. No, I'm not flying to France. I'm not going to meet any of these people on a flight ever. Just stop. Thoughts on Milo claiming stretch-mediated hypertrophy could be a possible method for what? He would say some silly stuff like that. Every time I've turned the amp on in these lives, the volume just blasts out and it sounds really terrible. I need to do it recording and then upload it separately, which I've done quite a few times. I've listened to it after, and it doesn't. This YouTube Live does not pick it up very well. Do you like Leonard Skinner? Yeah, I like Leonard Skinner. What's a good age for a young person to start lifting? I began lifting at 14 or 15. But no, that's a good age to be lifting. That should be perfectly fine. Should be perfectly fine, dude. And yeah, you should have made gains. You just weren't lifting correctly, probably. Are L-sit pull-ups good? Yeah, I guess they're okay. All right. I squat more than 400 at all. I give good coaching. That's what I do different. All right. Can we get to some actual good topics? That's a good question. How thick is too thick for a chick? I guess it depends on the chick. It depends on how she carries it. Depends on if she's pretty. A lot of factors involved. I don't think that there's a direct answer to that. Will you do a bodybuilding show? I do not have plans to do a bodybuilding show. Is Lyle McDonald a good coach? I believe that Lyle McDonald is a good coach. Thoughts on Trump drinking 12 Diet Cokes a day? I don't see an issue with that. What do you think about Canada being the 51st state? I'm going to go with no. All right. Would you coach the aliens? And what program would you put the aliens? I don't know. I guess it would depend on their physiology. I mean, I don't know that I'm qualified to coach aliens. All right. What workout routine would you give Trump? I'd put Trump on just a basic strength program to start. Jason, what's your favorite book in the Bible? That's a good question. I'm going to go with any of the 4 Gospels, probably. Right? I mean, I could just name one like Matt or something, but I think those are the most important books. But can diet soda replace water intake? The data says you could in theory. My hair is thinning and I'm in my early 20s. Would you shave it or use topical finasteride? Finasteride and other 5-alpha reductase inhibitors can have side effects. I mean, I would just shave it personally. Bald is beautiful. Trump has a solid deadlifting type build. He might be a good bencher too. Do you think Dave Tate is a good coach? Yes. Thoughts on Alpha Destiny claiming you don't need rows for deadlifts, only pull-ups? I don't know about that. I think rows definitely are useful. NH will coach the aliens by showing them how he plays with rice. I'll do their rice bucket challenge like my hero Naruto. About the outrageous French accent. All right. No, I'm not a pagan. No. Is it true that a lifter best peak strength is in late 30s? Like I've heard Michael Heard. There's probably some truth to that. Frank, we know that they have serious problems. We know that they have serious problems. Are you familiar with Lat's Bra, the golden one? Marcus? I haven't talked to Marcus in many years. I had a few video calls with Marcus a long time ago, like on Google Hangouts. That's been a super long time ago. What's a good deadlift build? Long legs. I'm sorry, long arms. Long arms. Sam, because you guys literally made it up. There's nothing to talk about. That's the whole story. You trolls literally fabricated that out of nothing. So that's the entirety. So if you want me to talk about it, that's the whole story. That's it. Done. So, no, legend. I was in New Mexico till I was 17. Like for 3 years, we lived there. My dad's work transferred in there. Should winning in West go to jail, coach? I don't know about that. No, I don't speak Czech. I can understand a little because of my great grandma, but I don't speak it. I mean, other than a few words. And I don't know sentences. So is adding 100 milligrams of TRDs worth it? I don't know. Maybe. My dad at the time was a senior service rep for Cooper Compression Systems that was later bought out by Cameron International. Lean beef patty or not, she claims she's never touched. I need to look. She's on the list to investigate. If you ever end live streaming, you should make this for everything. I don't know. I plan on doing it indefinitely. Well, I thought you were strictly no. We lived there a little while. Could Lean Beef Patty beat up Alpha Destiny? Maybe. She's got a longer reach than him. I don't know. Are either one of them a trained fighter, though? And why do we care if people can beat each other up? What are your thoughts on peptides? You're going to need to be very, very specific in that question. That peptides are a very broad category of drugs. Lean beef patty pegs NH. She might. Jason, what's a spray tan that looks natural? I wouldn't know. I don't understand your question about Saif. Yeah, I don't understand what you wrote. All right. Inhaling peptides nasal. Never heard of this. Who has the highest amount of estrogen, the noble natty Girl Scouts or the science-based manlets? Ooh, I'm not sure. Some of those, the science-based guys might be a little more estrogenic. All right. Justin literally went from a 400 squat to a 520 under my coaching. I don't think that's too stagnant. NH can't even talk to girls. Probably not. Can I do a live on the Natty Girl Scouts versus science-based manlets comparison and contrast? I don't know. We don't have any confirmation that NH has ever had a wife or a girlfriend. He claims he's got a wife now. Vegan Games recent live stream, he said he could deadlift and squat more than you if he didn't have injuries. Let me rephrase that. He could squat and deadlift more than me if he were stronger than me, but he's not. Hey, Travis, you're not very good at math, are you? 400 to 520 is 120 pounds, not 20 pounds. I can tell that math is not your strong point, or you wouldn't be one of these trolls. It's okay. You ever watch the sport of slap fighting? It is ridiculous. The slap fighting thing is absolutely ridiculous. It's the stupidest sport I have ever seen in my life. Also, if you guys will please follow me on the Facebook page, all of you, reach over, click that, follow it. Go down the row and like my stuff. I would appreciate that. That includes YouTube, legend. Where was the skin graft from your inner ear extracted from? From my thigh. No, I was not related to client Mikey. Can most people reverse grip bench press more than they can bench press normal? Nope, depends on the person. Okay. What do you mean? What happened? You guys always ask what happened to a client. I don't understand what you're looking for when you guys ask that, by the way. What do you mean, what happened? Like, what answer are you looking for? Like, did they move? Do they have a different job? Like, what are you guys asking about? Okay. How much would you need to get paid? I don't want a cage fight. Thanks for answering the last question, Coach. Another injury prevention. Does higher maximum load carry a higher injury risk? And what does this become a legitimate concern? I mean, in theory, yes, absolute load will always matter. But I don't know that we can quantify, hey, it becomes a bigger problem at this point. Just know that the stronger you get, hypothetically, injury risk may go up. But keeping in mind, even extremely heavy weights, if everything is done correctly, right? If everything is done correctly, then injury risks are still fairly low on max lifts. Let me get through other stuff. I don't know what you mean by NH sign in India. I have no idea. No, I would not take on stooping as a client. Do you think Alpha Destiny has autism? Not that I'm aware of. So many NH bots all here. Yep, of course they are. They're going to defend Frenchie because he's their hero. He's their messiah. I'm not aware of the alien allegations. Why are all the Alpha Destiny fans? I don't know. I'm not aware that they have a specific ethnotype. Can you describe the average NH follower? I think you're seeing them right here. Socially awkward, obsessed with trolling online, probably watch anime. Most of them probably never had a girlfriend. I mean, this guy right here is a perfect example. Obsessed with purple things in people's booty holes. That's the average NH follower, right? What is NH obsession with forearms so much work for? Yeah, he doesn't even have forearms. I don't get it. You know, it's like, right? He doesn't even have forearms. His followers are all incels obsessed with anime, just like all these people in here. Coach, who'd be more likely to get a snip surgery, strap on or NH? I don't know. Let's get some real questions here. Did I lose connection or did people just quit typing? Do I deny what allegations? Dude, 90% of the allegations against me are insane. All right. Any advice for someone who wants to go to their first powerlifting meet? Yeah, learn the rules, practice the commands. So read the rule book for the federation inside and out. When you're practicing your lifts in the gym, you need to practice doing them meet legal and have someone either give you the commands out loud or listen to them in your head so that you make sure that everything passes. That is the most important part for your first meet. Okay, thoughts on intermittent fasting for a long-term period. I've been doing it for well over a year straight. Exactly. NH made 25 hours of direct videos, not where he mentioned me. He literally made 25-hour-long videos about me, many of them before I had ever even heard of him. Come on. You guys can't project that back over. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Next. Would you say bands are useless for raw lifters specifically? No, not necessarily. I don't want to fight anybody, Greener. All right. NH sounds like an insult. He does. Coach, are there any scars from your surgeries? Yes. And I've shown many people in person, the main one behind my ear. So it's pretty big. I already did it, Natty. You're not on Bald Omni-Man. NH started off as a guy begging for attention in others' comment sections. Yep. I at least made my own name. Started my own videos, didn't go posting in other people's stuff. Coach, if I have one day where I go above maintenance by 1,000 calories, I don't know. Yep, NH spamming everybody's comments. Do you think Freaky D 550 is Natty? I don't know. Jason, would you ever travel to Japan or Korea? No intention of it. What's the most valuable recovery tool? Probably sleep. Is it optimal to cut down to say 12% body fat and recomp indefinitely? Well, you're not going to be able to recomp indefinitely from there. You're going to reach a point where it becomes very difficult, especially below 10%. Would you consider Bald Omni-Man as small but strong? No, he's not small at all. Thoughts on Eric Littlebridge maxing out method on squat, bench, deadlift every week? Every week is fine. I mean, I know someone who trains with under the Littlebridges who's strong as hell. I mean, they get results. Their people get results. I don't think we can deny that. And I don't think there's necessarily a problem with maxing every week as long as your heavy volume is kept in check. Hey, Sam, I think that's a great idea. Yeah, I'm fine, 10. I didn't hear a bang. Hey, Sam, what's the problem with that idea with politicians? Tell me what's wrong with it. Hey, Legend, I'm not on any welfare. Hey, Sam, putting laws into place is not illegal. So, all right. I'm not interested in the Olympic lifts. If working out makes me overly sore, should I cut back? You need to adjust your programming. You shouldn't be getting sore all the time. Okay, sure you did, Sam. You can't even spell Meniere's disease. Wow. All right. Dealing with some Einsteins in here today. Are you a fan of Mark Bell? Not really. I'm not actually a Mark Bell fan, to be honest. Thoughts on Ryan Kennelly? I'm not sure who that is. Again, people talking about assets. My guitars alone would disqualify me. So, no, I've not seen any ice trucks. Do you like Johnny Cash? Yeah, I like Johnny Cash. Yeah, Mark Bell with the carnivore stuff. Yeah, getting ridiculous. Okay. Why would Trump be too liberal for me? What a strange statement. Do we have anything real in here? Thoughts on Bromley's Bull Mastiff? I haven't seen it. All right. Can we get alien dating advice? No. First, we got to prove aliens are real before we can even figure out how to date them. All right. Thoughts on West Side Barbell Camber Bar Box Squats? I think they work great. Mount Rushmore of Internet Fitness, Z, Scooby, Big Lenny, Jason Ball. I don't want to jump into the whole Big Lenny thing. I don't know if they were true, but I do know some people close to me who said a lot of stuff about Big Lenny. But I also don't want to spread rumors, but I did hear some pretty bad stuff that if it's true is a problem, but I don't have confirmation of it. But you never know if stuff is true. Thoughts on Jay Masters Code? What did he call me out about? When did this happen? I like Texas way more. I plan on staying in Texas. How did you not get? I have loose skin, Sam. What are you talking about? They're talking about it in here all the time. on Pat Mahomes, Natty or not. Let me check that out. Pat Mahomes, let me put that name in the list. Okay. How much am I coaching for a month? It's $250. My pecs, my teddies, mouse and teddies. All right. When you realize vegan gains weighed in at 280, his 410 bench is not that impressive. My prices are lower due to supply and demand, like everything else in this economy. Supply and demand, dude. It's no conspiracy. The word disgusting isn't banned, actually. Get close to an hour. Coach, thoughts on current egg prices? I haven't really seen them go up here. I haven't noticed. Eggs are pretty cheap. Do you think carbs are essential? Potentially. I mean, you need some carbs. Fiber is definitely essential. Hey, Devin, I told you guys what happened way back when I said no. When I started getting sleep apnea, I'm like, I'm done. I'm not even going to try this. I'm done. And I started cutting down after that. You should raise chickens. I don't want to raise chickens again. Shouldn't have any favorite cutting food. You eat a variety of foods. Yeah, Ebby Avenue is crazy. Have you ever held a snake before? Yes. All right. Is there anything about the UK? Not really, but I did appreciate the cathedrals and castles and the history. Okay, guys, you're coming up on the hour. Anything else going on good? All right. So I guess it's time to go ahead and wind this down. Give you guys a forearm shot before we go. With my fake forearms, fake veins, Mount Bicephus. Oh, Mount Bicephus. I love all you guys and gals, and I will talk to you next time.